Hey everybody. So I'm getting a message that my internet is unstable and we've done everything we can, but George is on the phone. So let me know if you can actually see and hear me. Because I'm kind of stressing out about it because I have so many good things that I want to tell you guys today. Some things that I feel like are really important, and I really missed you guys last week. So I'm going to be very sad if my internet is not cooperating. I had an Erin Condren haul video that's going up today for their back to school stuff, and it was taking forever to upload. So I had to cancel it so that I could be here without. And George said that probably once I canceled that upload, that this would be fine. And I can't even ask him to help because he's on the phone. So, okay. So I'm a little bit blurry. Hopefully you can still hear me fine, and we will just pray that as this moves on, that the internet will get a little bit better as we go, or that George will get off the phone and he can try to, I don't know what he can reset now that we've started, but we'll just kind of see. So I'm going to try not to stress about it. I missed you guys last week for sure. It has been quite the week emotionally, and so many things, like just going to see in-laws and traveling with toddler and everything else has been, it's been a little bit of a challenge. I won't say any differently. So I have kind of a story that I really want to share with you guys today that is really important. So I'm going to wait a little bit for a few more people to come in. And I just realized that I did not turn on subscriber only chat, and I don't know how to do it from here. So hopefully we will not have anybody coming in to say some ugly things. So George, thank you very much, honey. If you're listening to me, if you're not on the phone anymore, the internet is still bad. So if Andrew is on the internet, maybe he could pop off and we'll just kind of see how it goes. So how did the kids do on their first flight? They were incredible. I cannot even tell you how much, like how amazing they were. We left like a little bit early. We weren't running late. We left a little bit early. We used the valet at the at the airport, which is really, it was only like $5 more than the regular parking. So I was like, okay, we're doing this to get the kids in and everything else. And then we ended up just sailing through security. There was literally no one. And when they saw that it was like a mom with a little one, they just let us walk straight through instead of going through the x-ray thing, which was so nice. And we had time to eat a lunch and everything. And then we got on the plane and they were perfect. So we were on Southwest. So there's 3 seats and 3 seats. So George couldn't sit with us, but I sat with the kids, and I mean, they were perfectly behaved. They had fun. Andrew was basically on his phone the whole time, and Evie was coloring. I printed out some like coloring pages of airplanes, and I wish I had it to show you guys, but this was something I found on a blog that said, get one of those AM, PM little pill holders that you can use for, pills and stuff that are easy to open. So they're just like you push down and they pop open, and fill that with different snacks. So I put like not really anything healthy. So it was like goldfish and little gummies and Cheerios and stuff like that in it. And Evie spent half the plane ride just popping those open and eating a little snack and then closing it and popping it open. And every time she would find the like little fruit gummies are her favorite. So every time she would open it and it's a fruit gummy, her whole face would light up. It's a gummy. She was very excited. So she did little activities the whole time, and it was great. And then we got there and it was super, easy. And then the ride home, Andrew, no food rules when traveling, right? It's like, anything goes. When we got to the ride home, Evie ended up, like, it was perfect timing for her. And she was, bless her heart, very exhausted because we had been staying out of schedule and we're still not back on our normal schedule. And she fell asleep, and she slept the entire time. Like, she fell asleep before the plane even took off. And then she woke up somewhere near the end of the flight and she goes, we're in the air. And I was like, we're almost home. So she was very, very excited. We did get a little bit of weather and turbulence on the ride home, but it wasn't too bad. But I was glad that she had slept through that because that was very nice. Overall, it was very good. But it's one of those things where it's like, always going away for a trip makes things a little bit more difficult when you're busy, because when you get home, there's always things that you're out of routine, and there's always things that haven't been happening, like that need to happen. And then there were some little things going on in the Discord that I was just very not happy about. And so we had to kind of change some rules and things like that. So it's it's one of those things where I just feel like taking this little bit of time away, spending time with friends in real life, which is not something that we've been able to do in a long time, really put a few things into perspective. And that was very nice for me. I feel like even though there were some challenges of being away, I think that having that perspective of sitting down with friends and seeing their kids play and getting real life talk with people instead of always just being online was kind of, it just kind of shifted my perspective just a little bit to realize just how much our lives have gone to being online. And there is a lot of polarization, a lot of judgment online, a lot of things that can be super stressful. It's like you never know when you're going to open your phone or open social media and there's going to be anything from a critical comment to someone saying something that hurts your feelings to somebody talking about politics or something else. And I feel like there's just a lot of even though there are spaces on the internet with you guys that I absolutely love spending my time with you, and there are some safe, wonderful places. There also are a lot of things online, as our lives kind of have had to, our only social interactions have been online, that have, I think, changed. I don't know exactly how to say it perfectly, but have changed the perspective a little bit, that it feels like what people think of you online is the be all end all. Does that make sense? But then when you're sitting there with people that you know would love you no matter if, no matter what happened, um, those people really are going to be there for you no matter what anybody online thinks about you, because they know you to your core. And that really kind of shifted a few things for me, which was really nice. What happened on Discord? Political conversation broke out, and some of it was very argumentative. And I don't want to get super into it, but we all know kind of what the current events are. And it's never about like whether I agree or disagree with what anyone's saying. It's just that I've worked really hard to try to create spaces where we don't discuss the polarizing political events, just because it's like sometimes you just need a break. You need a place that feels safe, that feels good. And so it was really upsetting to get home and see so many people talking about like the political state of things and even kind of getting ugly with each other. And that was not happy. So it's like those conversations are important, and we need to figure out where we want to fight and things like that. And I know it's difficult, but at the same time, I just want to create a space where everyone feels, oh, George turned off the Wi-Fi on my desktop. Woo. I'm not going to kill you after the live. I'm going to be happy because I think it got a lot better. So it's just one of those things. It's like the things that can separate us. Yes, I saw Dee Dee say something about empathy. I am a very empathetic person. And now that we have, our kind of core group is here. Welcome back. I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you, George, for fixing that. I think that, I'm going to tell this story and it all kind of goes into it, but this is a super important story that for my life that I think many of you will enjoy hearing, and it'll be like, wow, this is really cool. So yeah, I am super empathetic, and I've always been the kind of person who I just want to have everybody be happy. And it's like, I know that there are lots of different opinions, and I know that there's lots of things that are worth fighting for. And of course, there are some things that are just not to be tolerated no matter what. But there are nuances to almost everything. And I feel like we live in a culture right now online where there's no room for nuance and there's no room for growth. It's just a lot of argument and a lot of just, I don't want to say hatred, because I don't think that's necessarily it. But I think that when you're empathetic and you go on and you try to, even if you know this is someone that I don't agree with, and this is something that is upsetting to me too, and I don't agree with it, I also really want to try to always aim for unity. And so just those kinds of things are, I don't want them discussed in my space because I feel like there's so many other places, like literally the entire internet is a discussion about it. And you can find so many people to argue with or to discuss and to fight, but like there's no like world peace is going to get solved in my Discord server. So there's no reason to argue about it. It's just like, let's have a place where we can be supportive to each other, if that makes sense. And there are rules about no politics. There are rules about no religion or polarizing topics, but people were not following the rules. And I'm not blaming anyone in particular. It's just that, we maybe needed to be a little bit more clear about it. So that's what we're doing. Being a little bit more clear. And that's part of the challenge of running a community in today's, social media is if you're the leader, then there are a lot of people looking to you for leadership and guidance. But then there's also a lot of targets on your back in a way. And that kind of stuff is also really stressful for me because I grew up in a household where I was always wrong. No matter how hard I tried, I was always wrong. And so it can be difficult, speaking from that childhood trauma, to know that people are judging the way you speak. Like you use the word should, and people get mad at you that you shouldn't use the word should, or you talk about you're going to eat at a certain place and people don't like that too. And that kind of stuff is like just part of learning the new way of life. And I would like to, I'm going to have a few asks of you guys too. And part of that is just going to be, to give me space to grow, because I know I'm not perfect and I know I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm also always willing to listen and to grow and to continue to be, hopefully the best leader that I can be. But I will make mistakes. That is definitely going to happen. So let's talk a little bit about this story. So when I was planning, so while we were on this trip, I was spending sometimes nights up until midnight working on a re-outline and my plans for Q3 and a re-outline of Publish and Thrive, which is my self-publishing course. And when I was doing that, what I was planning for Q3 is to totally re-record my Publish and Thrive course. Not because the course isn't great, because it is great as it is, but it's just, I always want to make things better. And I can see ways that I could make it better now than when it was first getting started. And so I wanted to re-record it. And as I went through the outline, I realized it's going to be 90 videos. So 90 videos all recorded before, mid-August, because the course is launching this month and we start on July 30th. So I was going to be recording all of that also while trying to write and finish book 12, which is super important to me. And my writing has not been going great. And keeping up with my normal video schedule and all the other things that are happening with summer. And there's probably like 10 other things, plus starting 6 Months for Life and wanting to do vlogs. And of course, I always come from a place of I can do it. Like, listen, everybody's like, what? Now, I will say, in my defense, before you guys are like, yeah, Renee's praying in the corner. Thank you, Renee. But you were behind me. You were like, we will make it work. I did it. I was 8 months pregnant with Evie, and I recorded the 88 videos that are currently in Publish and Thrive in 5 weeks. And I edited it all myself, and it was exhilarating and it was fun and it was great. So I was like, I can do it again. Right. So I was like, okay. And I was planning to like rebrand and do a new sales page and all this stuff. And like all of you guys can see me sometimes when I can't see myself. So I can tell you 100% that if I decided to redo Publish and Thrive, I would give my 100% heart to it and it would be great, even if I was pushing myself pretty hard to get it done. But I would have gotten it done. But you know what would have never gotten done if that was going to be it? My choice is the writing. And I'm staring at a Kanban board behind this computer that is yet again for another quarter, there's no writing got done. I wrote less than 10,000 words. And this has been kind of my life for the past 3 years. Is I had Evie. Before I had Evie, I had started my YouTube channel, and I've been super passionate about YouTube. You guys know, those of you that follow me on Heart Breathings, you know that. But I want to be able to write as much as I'm spending time on my heart breathings. And I was sitting there thinking, the first year that I did heart breathings, I wrote and published 5 books. So, and that was the most I had ever done in my life. So I know that I can simultaneously write and produce YouTube videos. So okay, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Let's go back to the day we got home from from the trip. So this is my new Dragonfly story, and I'm so glad we have over 200 people here because I have a message that I feel like is important for so many of us right now. That we got home, we drove into the garage, and George walks up. I'm getting Evie out of the car. We've got all the stuffed luggage to get out of the car. We're all exhausted. And George gets out of the car and walks towards the house and he goes, and I was like, uh-oh, that was not a sign. Like, that was not a good sound. And he's like, Sarah. And I walk over there and there is a dead and shriveled up dragonfly, like almost dust. It probably like flew in at some point while we were leaving and died in my overheated 160-degree, garage. And I've never even seen a dead dragonfly. Like, dragonflies are all about joy for me. This is about, like, my original dragonfly story was specifically a sign from the universe to tell me to get back to the joy of writing. And when we walked in from this trip where I've made all these decisions about doing this course and this and all, like, putting all these things on my plate because I know I can do it and I'm going to get motivated for it, there was this dead dragonfly. And I just was like, I hope that's not a sign. Then I walk into anger in my Discord server, me feeling super disappointed that maybe I've failed somehow as a leader. Started thinking about this. Then one of my good friends who is actually here right now, somebody that I've known for years, who's in our community, who has loved me as a writer for a long time, basically sent a message saying, like, your energy is pulled too thin. And I wish you could get back to the happy writer that you are. And that was just another piece of the sign from the universe. So thank you for that message. Because I think what I started realizing when I was thinking, what does this dragonfly mean? Maybe it means nothing. Maybe it's just a dead dragonfly, but maybe it means something really important. And so the more I started journaling about it and thinking about it, I started to realize that the reason that the writing is not happening is because my energy is getting pulled too thin. I have many of you I know are like this, so you will relate to this, but I have a lot of things that I feel called to do. I have a lot of things that I want to do that I'm interested in. I have, tons of planners that I love. I have lots of video games I want to play. I have tons of books that I haven't read yet, but I still keep buying more. You can please let me know in the comments if you're the same way, that there's just so many different things that you want to do, that you feel passionate about, that you know you should do. There, I'm using that should word again, but like you just know that you've got a lot that you want to do, both for your own joy, but also for your career. Like, if I could just put up a new planner, I could make more money, or I could bring in more fans to YouTube, or I could do this, and I'm not saying it's all about the money, because you guys know me, but it's just that, like, you've got these goals that you want to accomplish. And so it's like, let me just keep piling things on. And HB90 has been really good for reining me in to not be doing too much. But I was really looking at my Kanban board and thinking, why is it for the third year in a row, I have the time, I know I have the time to get the writing done because I've done this before. So why is it not happening? And when that message came through and I started thinking about it, it was like, okay, the reason it's not happening is not because I'm not good with time management. I'm getting much, much better with time management than I have been in a long time. It's because I'm not managing my energy. And a part of that is the stuff I was talking about. What I used to do to manage my energy is not enough anymore, because I had resources available to me that are not available in a post-COVID world. It's there's a lot more polarization and drama online. There's a lot more like anger about the words that you say. And I'm a very public person. And so that's always like a scary thing of like, what if I say the wrong thing and nobody ever forgives me? Like some of those things are really hard. And I'm empathetic. So when I see other people suffering, I really want to help. And some of these things are out of my control to help. And so I try to continue to just give as much as I can to my community to try to make everyone happy, right? To try to genuinely help. And though it comes from a place of genuine giving, I am not giving enough back to myself. And part of where my energy is going is to my community management. So it's one thing to be here on Fridays and chat with you guys because this gives me energy. I'm an extrovert. I love it. I love chatting with you guys, but it's like all the customer service emails, which of course Renee is taking more of. It's the fact that I'll get I never know when there's going to be 5 different DMs telling me I used a word I shouldn't use, or that you don't like my background, you don't like my nails, my face is looking fatter than normal. It's like these kind of things come up literally on a daily basis all the time. And so some of you, if you wanted something to relate to, may not be, so much that you're getting publicly criticism, but maybe you have someone in your life who's constantly criticizing you, your mother, your spouse, some friends, or someone else in your life who says those things. I know, but people do. They say it all the time. Even people who genuinely like me still say things like, my background is too cluttered, or you don't like the hat that I was wearing, or whatever. And it's like, even if it comes from a genuine place, I'm starting to realize that it still drains my energy to consistently be getting that. Plus, many of you know that I was literally being attacked by a fellow author for most of last year in silence, and wasn't able to even speak up about it until later. And that also drained a lot of my energy and put me into like a fight or flight state for a long time. So here's the second part of that Dragonfly story, is that I started journaling and I started thinking, okay, where are the places? And I'm going to share this with you guys too, because I did it just in my notebook, but I'm going to create a worksheet for you guys that I'm going to give you coming up. That's basically an energy audit where you can look at what's giving me energy right now and what things are taking my energy away, because I knew that I'm spending a lot of time on my videos, but I didn't think about the fact that my energy is being spread thin by the Heart Breathing's writing community. And if arguments break out there, or people post something that I have to come in and deal with, or the emails that are constantly coming through, all of that stuff I'm spending too much time on it. And I think that it's not scalable. And so when you get a community, like between this YouTube channel, my various, like, oh my gosh, our Heart Breathing's coven, or our Sarra Cannon's coven just hit 4,000 members. We've got something like 4,500 in my Heart Breathing's writing community. I have 55,000 over on my other YouTube, almost 9,000 here, 10,000 on my Instagram. It's like I've got tens of thousands of people that sometimes want my attention. And so I think that it's really all about boundaries, and I'm not very good at setting boundaries, if you haven't noticed. So it's kind of all about setting boundaries for myself that I haven't done very well. So I started thinking about it, and I was like, this has to be a big part of my 6-month4Life journey. And this is why I've been coming around to it, and why I have failed, fallen, stood back up, fallen, stood back up. It's been a year now that I've been trying to do this 6-months4Life the way that I really wanted to do it. And there's a part of me that I've told you guys before, is kind of ashamed of the fact that I have not been able to do it before, and that I'm restarting. But I can tell that right now is a time when I am right on time. This is exactly where I was meant to be, and exactly when I was meant to start this, because there's so many signs and synchronicities coming. So the dead dragonfly. So if you know my original dragonfly story, it was a time in my life when I was in severe depression, and a dragonfly sat on the edge of my phone, and my phone case was a picture of my new Beautiful Demons cover, this one here. And it was a clear sign from the universe. Tanya, that you guys have met before, she called me after and she was like, "You've just had a sign from the universe that was an animal sign. What was it?" And I was like, "How do you know? You're in Mexico?" But she did know. And it was just a very strong sign from the universe that it was time to get back to the joy of writing. And now seeing a dead dragonfly on my doorstep is also a very strong sign that it's time to set some boundaries and to begin to love my writing again. And I saw Mason had asked, maybe it's that I'm avoiding it. And that's what I had assumed for the last 6 months. I'm avoiding it because I'm scared of it, but I'm actually excited for it. And what I'm realizing now is that it's not that I'm avoiding it. It's that I literally have what Becca Syme would say, I have no more energy pennies to spend because I'm spending them all somewhere else. And so I thought, okay, this is what 6 months for life is going to be about: getting my energy back, taking care of my wellness, setting boundaries, and getting healthy in so many ways. And I'm going to find that joy of writing again. And I thought, okay, I am going to do vlogs, but I was going to do them weekly. Now they might be every other week or monthly or just whenever I get a vlog done, and I'm not going to put any pressure on it, but I do want to share the journey. And I'm just going to, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to start a third YouTube channel. I'm going to do this. And this very clear voice said to me, just do it all here on Sarra Cannon channel, like your Sarra Cannon blog, your Sarra Cannon channel, your Sarra Cannon mailing list, just bring it all to this. And so I said, okay, if this was about midnight that night, if this is meant to be, this was the night after actually, if this was meant to be like the way that I'm supposed to go, this was the message I was supposed to have, then send me a very clear dragonfly sign tomorrow morning. So I wrote that. That was the last thing I wrote in my journal before I went to bed that night. Now, earlier that day, so this was the day after we got back from the trip, I had picked up all my mail. So I do have a bunch of mail here. Thank you so much to everybody who sent stuff. I hope I'm going to have time to share it all with you. I had picked up the mail and opened most of it. Then I realized that there's still, that next morning, I realized there's still one package that was left in the car on accident. So we go out, I get the package. And when I opened it up, now keep in mind, I was journaling the night before and I said, send me a clear dragonfly sign if I am meant to keep all of this stuff on my Sarra Cannon channel. And if this is the right way, this is the right path, this is the message I was meant to have. And when I opened up the package that was accidentally left in the car that was meant for me not to open it until that exact moment, this is what was in there. Not only is it a dragonfly sign, obviously, but it has a moon that looks almost eerily like my Sarra Cannon logo, right? And I went into my closet and cried, to be honest. And this is a gift from someone anonymous. So it might be one of you. And if it was, you've literally helped to change my life. So thank you for that. But it just said fellow author and friend. And it said, thank you for being a light in the darkness. And I thought, that is part of my plan for 6 months for life, is just to share that even though there are a lot of dark things happening in the world right now, there is light. There are moments of light. And I just was like, oh my gosh. And George was like, I love how the universe sends you signs that aren't just like, very subtle. They're like in your face. So it was like the last thing I journaled before bed. And then the first thing that happened the next morning was opening this up. And it's just the fact that it's both things, like the moon and the dragonfly. So thank you for that. It was such a clear sign that I am on the right path with this. And that was what was meant to be for me. And I know then that I can't re-record Publish and Thrive. It's not going to happen this quarter. It might not happen for February either. The course is great as it is. Somebody please reaffirm that, because I know it is good. It's a good course and it has all the information. I just want to re-record it so that I can do it even better. But it's going to get redone when the time is right. But right now, the time is right for me to be writing this book and to get back to the joy. And there was a message in my mind that said, there is more coming that's on the other side of this book than what you realize. And you have to write this book right now. This is where your joy is. This is where your life is. And so I just really wanted to share that with you guys. I know it's kind of a long story, but it took me a while to get there, but it just meant so much to me because I was like, okay, this is the path, is back to joy, not hustling, not pushing myself beyond the limits because I think that I have to, or I have to please other people. Yeah, can the universe please give me the words for the book? Like, I do have a feeling that once I start to kind of set a few boundaries and give myself a little bit of space from the things that are draining my energy, the words are going to start to flow, and I'm ready for it. Like, I'm super ready. Like, this is it. And I feel supported, and I feel like a knowing, you know what I mean? Like, I feel sure that this timing of my life is right. And sometimes I think that we come from a place of fear instead of a place of trust. And sometimes if we just listen to the signs, and sometimes those signs come in, you know, dragonfly or an animal or anything like that. And sometimes the signs come in the form of a friend who cares about you, that's willing to say the hard things. And sometimes it just comes from a whisper inside you that says, this is what you need right now. And so this is it. Like, I'm still going to do 6 months for life vlogs. There's going to be some good stuff, but those vlogs are going to be a lot about my journey back to writing. And I'm going to hire help. So I'm going to leverage the help that I have. I'm going to potentially be hiring somebody to help with managing the community a little bit more, because Renee obviously is doing an amazing job. She's incredible, but I think I just need more help. And so that she can focus on the places where I need her. And then I think I'm going to try to find a video editor and some other things that are going to be great. So I think it's only up from here. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it means that I'm listening to the universe and I'm going to do the best I can. 2 owl feathers fall at your feet. Oh my goodness, Dee Dee. I'm telling you, signs are there for you. It's not like I'm special in some way. Signs are there for all of us. You just have to be willing to listen and to ask for them. But it was so affirming for me. So one thing that I'm going to ask from you at my community that I love is to, if you have something that you are thinking, gosh, it would be better if you did it this way, or I don't like this about you, or I really wish you wouldn't X, Y, Z, just maybe keep it to yourself for the next month while I get on my feet in terms of this energy and these boundaries, because I am not great at holding my own boundaries. So if you can help support me in that way of maybe not sending a lot of criticism, I'm going to do the best that I can to keep my DMs on, but it's possible that my DMs on Instagram will be going away for a little while. May turn them off. But I'm also going to be setting a boundary that I'm just not going to answer any emails past 5 o'clock. I tried to set that boundary earlier this year and I just did not hold on to it. But I tend to still be answering emails sometimes 9, 10 o'clock, because I hate for somebody to wait for an answer if they're having trouble with the planner or something else. So I'm just always still checking emails and answering stuff. I'm also still answering DMs late at night, and I'm still answering stuff on Saturdays and Sundays, even if we're at the park with the kids. I hate to admit that, but sometimes I am. And it's like, okay, enough of that. It's going to take me some time to set those boundaries and stick to them. But I'm going to do my best to do that. And if you've been feeling a similar way of like, I have creative things I want to do, and I don't think time's a problem, it's just my energy that's a problem, then I encourage you to think also about ways that you can set stronger boundaries with your social media time, or the responses, or the time you spend with people who are, draining your energy, or the things that are draining your energy. And even so, some of you might be shocked with this, but even my planner stuff is at a point I've built up a system that uses so many different planners that I start to pull my joy away because I can't fully use them the way I want. And then I get sad that I bought all these stickers that I can't use because I'm not using that planner the way that I want. Auto reply email is so smart. Yes, I think that's a really good idea. And oh, first trimester of pregnancy. That's right, Jennifer. It's so exciting. But it's like, where can I set those boundaries? And one of them, I think, is going to be some of my planner stuff of really simplifying down my system. I'm still going to use multiple planners because I have to, but really saying where can I dive into my planner and like only have 2 or something that are the ones that I use that I love, and just let go of the disappointment that I'm not going to be using 10 planners, or the guilt that I have them. Like Erin Condren just sent me a brand new planner, an academic planner. And I'm like, am I going to use it? I might not use it, but you know what? I can give it away to somebody who is going to use it, and I cannot feel guilty about that. So I am simplifying down to a couple of different planners. And one of them is I've set up this lovely lady. This is a Foxy Fix, which no longer is in business, but I got it from pre-loved from a buy sell trade group. And I have set it up with multiple notebooks that I'm going to be using for different things that I'll share with you guys soon. And then I spent last night setting up a B6 Stalogy just for this occasion. And this is where I'm going to spend a lot of my time, is in this one planner. And then in my HB90, my A5 planner is going to become the majority of everything else will be going into that planner. So simplifying where I can, and understanding that I know, how funny is it that my nails match exactly? Like, and then I can actually show you guys, because the embargo is lifted, but this is one of the new planner goodies from the Erin Condren back to school that will launch on their site next week. And it matches my nails. I'm like, there's more signs, right, that I'm on the right track. So that's kind of fun. I am going to show you guys and share and just say thank you real quick for all the gifts that have come my way. So this is a gift from Charisse, which is this Magic of I like pocket planner, and it has some like astrology stuff and the moon cycles, like a wheel. It's really neat. And then the weekly spreads are just these like horizontal things. Now, because I'm simplifying right now, I might not use this. I might just redate it, but I really like it. And it is like a little pocket. So how cool is that? And yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And she also sent these tarot stickers. Like, how cool is this? So you can read the tarot, and there's just like tons of them. So you could put down what your tarot card was for the day on the notebook. So thank you, Charisse, for that. I don't know, like I said, I don't know for sure that I'll use it right now, but it's going to be easy to redate it. So I'm pretty excited about that. The stickers I will be using pretty much right away. So thank you for that. I was just blown away by all the stuff that came in the mail. So Taylor sent, basically destashed some stuff, and some of the stuff I'll be kind of giving away when I send out packages, but there's like lots of stickers and some notebooks, a vision journal from Erin Condren. So thank you for Taylor sending that. And then Lynn Lustig, who is one of my students, one of our lovely Hardies, she sent 2 of her superhero book. So this is Gilded Lies. I think there's 2 out now in the series, if not 3. I don't know if she watches these coffee chats or not, but she sent multiples so that I can give one away. So if you like, would have been a good one to give away for Pride. So this is a book about like queer superheroes. So this is kind of like X-Men vibes to it. It's really good. So she also sent like so many 4-leaf clovers. How cool is that? So some of these will be appearing in some of your packages. So, and it just, whenever I get an email or a message or anything from someone that says they might never have published their book if it wasn't for me, like I know that that's not true, because your destiny is bigger than that, but also it just really means a lot to be a part of your journey. So thank you for that. Then also Kelly sent a bunch of stuff, but look, there were more dragonflies in my package that I didn't open until later that afternoon. So there's a bookmark and a paperclip that were also dragonflies. So I could have opened either one of those things, as well as this Moon Magic set. So this is, I didn't fully open it to see what everything is in here, but I think I don't know if it's a coloring book or If it's, no, I don't think it is. I didn't open it all the way, but I'm going to do it. Oh, there's a crystal in here. That's kind of cool. So, oh, these are lunar oracle cards. What? Okay, I was like, what is that? So there's a bunch of, I'm going to have to dig into this. And then there's oracle cards, a guided book. Thank you, Kelly, for this. That is very, very sweet. And I love, these are handmade, by the way, from our sweet Kelly here. So thank you for that. Then Michelle sent some journals for me. Coffee writing happy, which I love. Find beauty everywhere. And then she also sent, when she heard my story about Evie, she also sent these Brave Kayla, Brave Gabe, like going to the dentist and stuff. And then a kid's book about rainbows and colors, which is super nice. Like, I love it. And then I also got from Alicia Justice, her book that came out First to Fight, which is a romance with Marines. So definitely check it out. So this is more students here. And just the message that says, this wouldn't be published without you. Like, I know that's not true, but it still means a lot. And then we also have this book from Christina, How to Follow Your Inner Compass to an Incredibly Fulfilling and Happy Life. And I just I can't even tell you how joyful it makes me to get books that I had any part in helping you learn to publish. Like, I just love it. And I'm putting them all over the place. So these journals are, I'm sure they're from Amazon, but she didn't put any links to them in here. But so if you look at amazon.com/author/Michelle Spray, you can find her store. So she's got multiple journals, and it's mostly just blank pages with a design on it. So those are going to be really nice. No, Publish and Thrive is not just for fiction. It's literally for anything that you want to publish. So you can learn a lot about so many things. And then our lovely Jude sent me, look how cool this is, Plant Witch. And I'm kind of obsessed with enamel pins right now. So to get one that says Plant Witch is like my favorite thing I've ever owned. So thank you for that. I love it. And then I also did, this was just mostly a nice note, but it's always fun to see. So it's a Hello Kitty card, but it's always fun to see stamps. And I've been kind of collecting them from other countries. So this came all the way from the Netherlands. So that is really cool. I don't think I missed anything, but if I missed yours, I apologize. But it was like, I thought I only had 1 or 2 packages, and I went to go pick them up, and I had only gotten an email that I had 1 package, and I went, and the guy just keeps coming back with all these packages, and I was like loaded up, and it just meant the world to me. So thank you very much for that. I can't even express how much it means. So I really appreciate it. I know a bunch of books sent to me now. I have a corner of you can't see it in the thing here, that's just all like full of people who have sent me books, but I need more. So as you get them, Alicia, thank you for sending your book. I'm sorry, I said the title wrong at first. My brain is just there. So this one is First to Fight. If you like military romances, this is a beefy book too. This is long. This looks awesome. I love it. So thank you guys for that. Another thing that I'm going to share. Oh, your mint green jellycomb keyboard got there. I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm going to share my screen too, and I'm going to, let's see if I can get this Google slideshow going here. So I am going to, one of the things that I felt kind of, I hate to say called, because that sounds so like big, but I originally had 4 areas that I was going to work on, 6 months, 4 life with a 4. And I always kept saying it with a 4, but I didn't realize it was going to be like 4 areas. Right. And I have really since then refined the 4 areas for myself. So I just briefly wanted to, oh my gosh, 255 people. What? I love you guys so much. I want to talk about what the 4 areas are that I'm going to be focused on. And I really would encourage you to think about your 6 months for life with this as well. Because I will put up some more like downloadable stuff for you guys because I know several people want to see it. Oh no, I think my internet just went bad again. So hopefully it's not so bad you can't see it. But the first one is wellness. And this one for me is going to be all about oh, I don't know if they're coming in here. They're just going across. I have neighbor kids walking across, but they might be going to the other neighbor. Wellness is all about both physical health and mental health. It's really just anything that nurtures you. So if you're feeling burned out, this could be like a category of things that you might do to help you feel better. For me, I also bought a treadmill. So we bought a Proform treadmill, the kind that my sister has, and she runs marathons. So I'm like, let's do this. And it's going to go in my living room, and it's not here yet. It'll be here in a couple weeks, but my goal is to start reading or start walking in the mornings before the kids get up for 20 to 30 minutes. So that's part of my wellness time is I'm going to start exercising because I think when my anxiety gets out of control, with PCOS, it's not always good to like go hard exercise, like running isn't always good. Like really hard aerobic exercise is not always good for PCOS when you're getting your hormones in track, but walking is really, really good for PCOS. And so I'm like, you know what, I'll get up in the morning and I'll either walk to, the iFit stuff where you can go walk through the streets of Tokyo or something like that. Or I will listen to The Walk, which is kind of like the Zombies Run Couch to 5K. It's done by the same people. Or I'm going to listen to an audiobook in the morning. And that's going to be part of what gets me up in the morning. And that's part of wellness for me. But another part of wellness for me, not only getting my PCOS in order, but it's also going to be about setting those boundaries, and trying to get myself back to a place of good energy. And that is the second area that I'm going to be focusing on. So you've got all of these kind of play with each other. They all lead into each other, but energy is going to be a place where I'm going to be focusing a lot too. Like what's draining my energy? How can I increase my energy? And the stuff I do with wellness will hopefully increase my energy as well. And keeping myself accountable for the boundaries and things like that is going to be important. And so it's not necessarily, PCOS has such a range. So it's not necessarily that running will be bad for you, but just for a lot of women that already have hormonal imbalances, running like on a daily basis where you're running really hard, like long distances, can be difficult for you in terms of getting your hormones back. But once your hormones are in place, are like healed, so to speak, you can still run. And I think it is different for everybody. So don't like not run at all just because I said that. I'm not a doctor. But you've got the third one is freedom. So freedom to me, if you're following along with 6 Months for Life, freedom for you might mean quitting your day job. It might mean cutting toxic people out of your life. I got a wake up call yesterday about somebody that I really love, that it's just like the way that people that you love can hurt you, can just really tear you up. And it's like, I want as much freedom from that type of pain as I can get. I really want also freedom from being so worried of what other people think of me sometimes, just really getting my confidence and my self-esteem up and just believing in myself even more. I want to work on that. And I want freedom from anxiety. And hopefully the things I'm doing with wellness will help for that. But freedom can mean so many different things. Passion also is number 4. So for me, this is about getting back to the passion of working on my books, writing, doing the things that I really want to write. Queen Bey said quit. I love that new song. She's like, okay. I was listening to that on repeat yesterday about 50 times. I'm not kidding. So your passion, getting back to the things that really excite you about your life, because I think that so much about the last 2 years have really drained a lot of our passion and our hope from certain things, and kind of getting back to that. So for me, these are going to be the 4 areas that I focus on: wellness, energy, freedom, and passion. And part of the process for me of focusing on these, now, if you say just these are huge buckets, they're very broad and generic. So for me, I'm going to be narrowing in a specific way that I'll be sharing with you more in the vlogs. But part of it, I kind of have some notes down here. Part of it is starting with a vision of where is it, like when you think about your wellness, where is it that you like can envision you being like at your very tip top of your wellness? Or for example, you talk about passion. This is a good one to kind of give it as an example. Like if you think about your passion and your freedom, what does that look like? Sometime in the future, what would be your ideal life if you had passion and freedom? And for me, I think about like my ideal life would be standing on a stage announcing my next like TV show that's coming out and having people lined up around the corner to have me signed books. Like that would just be incredible. And to feel like I had the freedom to travel to whatever that place was and to, write the books of my heart and write what I really wanted. And so that's like a vision I can see of the future. So then what I pull from that is to say, how would that moment feel? Like, how would it feel to get on a plane and go and stand on that stage and have like 500 people lined up for me to sign books for them? How would that feel? And just really, I started journaling that feeling. Like it feels joyful. I feel, and I was paying attention to, gosh, I wish I had like hours to sit and chat. We'll just have to continue this next week. But I was thinking about it in terms of there are some things about the way I think that moment would make me feel that are really healthy. Like it makes me feel joyful. I feel accomplished. I feel proud of myself, like things that are really good. And then there are also the shadow aspects of that. Like I feel worthy. I feel validated. I feel loved, and then so I start thinking about that and think, okay, some of these things I really do want to feel. And some of these things I think I want, like, I think that moment will validate my existence in some way. And that is a sign that I have something that I need to heal or something that I need to work on, if that makes sense. Kind of going a little bit deep for a 2-minute explanation. But as an example, it's like, I used to think that getting into a house like this with my beautiful bookshelves would make me happy, or having 50,000 subscribers on YouTube would just like prove that I'm worthy and that I'm good and that I would just be happy with that forever. But now that I'm here in that moment, which I should be just enjoying and loving and so grateful for, which I am, there's also a side of me that's like, it's not enough. And I look at other people who are signing TV deals and hitting #1 on Amazon. And I allow that comparison to make me feel like I'm not living up to my potential, or to make me feel like I'm not as good as that person. And then I know, gosh, I've got a lot of healing to do, because I really do understand on a deep level that getting the thing, the house, the body, the award is really not the point. Like it's not enough to bring you happiness. If being famous or rich was enough to buy you happiness, then we wouldn't have so many celebrities in turmoil and drug addiction and, taking their own lives. And so there's no point at which I'm going to stand on a stage and have 500 people in line that will suddenly say, now you've made it, now you're worthy. It's like, I have to be worthy right now where I am, right? That's what I really want, is to feel that way right now. I don't want to have to wait to get on that stage. I want to just know that I'm worthy, because we all are, right? Deep thoughts. And I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but hopefully you guys understand. So it's like I have the vision, and then I think about the feeling that I want to feel. And then I start to understand, what of that feeling of standing on that stage can I create in my life right now without that experience? I can create a feeling of worthiness without ever standing on a stage or having anybody else's approval, but I have to find that within myself. And so that's going to be part of my journey over these next 6 months, is to not need that stage to love myself, to just love myself as I am, right? And to someday be able to stand on that stage and feel good, instead of getting to that stage and criticizing myself and continuing to be on this path of never feeling like I'm ever enough. And so much of it does come from childhood trauma, but we all have that. We all have moments that have led us to feelings of inadequacy, or whatever it is our particular journey is, right? And so for me, that's kind of the 3 steps, is to have the vision, really think about how that thing I think is going to make me feel. And then really pull it back to today and say, how can I create that feeling in my life right now with the life that I have? How can I appreciate what I have? How can I love myself so radically that I don't even care if I ever stand on a stage? So that when that moment comes, it's just nothing but pure joy instead of me just lugging my trauma on stage with me, if that makes sense. So that's going to be part of my journey for 6 months for life. And I will definitely share a lot more of that with you guys for sure. Cause we're all always a work in progress. And a big part of 6 months for life for me is just really saying, I'm going to take the next 6 months to be present and aware of how I'm feeling and try to feel as good as I can. And that's going to be the whole point of it. I did not get to any questions today, and I'm sorry. There definitely are like 5 or more questions in the Discord, and I'm sorry I didn't make to them today, but we will talk about them next week for sure. Yeah, I think that's probably about all that we can get to, but in some ways, I'm really looking forward to the vlogging of it, even though they're not going to be as many as I had originally wanted to do. But I also think, gosh, I wish that I could go back in time and film where I started from, because when, if I want it to be relatable and for you guys to, to really feel what I'm feeling, it's like, I wish you could see that whole journey. And you guys have been with me for years, for sure, some of you, but at the same time, like, if you could be with me back when I was like married to an abusive husband, teaching school and smoking like 2 packs of cigarettes a day, and just every day kind of fantasizing about what it would be like to just not be alive anymore. It's like, if I could go back to that person and film it and share the journey from there to here, that would be such a powerful story. But also part of the story that I think I need to tell is that even though from the outside I have hit a large amount of success, I still haven't healed a lot of those other things. And part of the message there, I think, is I don't know, George, I'll say that in a second, but part of the message there is just that finding the outer success is never going to be a moment of now you've arrived and everything is happy. Like, if you have pain and trauma and other things that have led you to where you that you're still holding on to, that, we hold on to it maybe forever in some way. None of the outer trappings, like, yes, having like a good income and not having a full-time job makes my life much easier than it was 10 years ago. So I'm definitely appreciative of that. But I think my fear with the vlogs is like, I don't want people to be like, why are you working on your life? You just bought this big house and you have 50,000 YouTube subscribers. And that's not relatable for a lot of people. And that's kind of it's not really a fear, but it's just something I'm being aware of, is that I don't want to come across as like someone super like successful who's complaining about their life, if that makes sense. Because I really want to share that it's like, no matter what you have on the outside, there are still ways that I'm still hurting the same way that I did when I had that massive struggle before. But I also have to give myself props for how far I've come. And part of the reason that my word of the year for this year that I've been wearing every day is limitless, because I don't want to stop just because I bought a new house that I love. It's like, there's still so much I have and want to accomplish in life, but I really just want to find a place of peace and joy. And I'm excited about that. So maybe they're coming downstairs, George. If you have the kids, bring them down for sure. So I did EMDR therapy for about 2 years, and I found it helpful, but it also was just, I was kind of stuck with it as well. That it brought up a lot of things, it healed some things, but it didn't take me as far as I need to go. You're coming to live with your new hat? Yeah, come see me. She has to come around all these lights. Come here and say hi to everybody. Look at how cute you are. Who gave you that hat? Do you remember?
Bobby and Daddy.
Yeah, but Tia Janet gave you that hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, her Aunt Janet gave her this. So I feel like I do need some spa time. But yeah, EMDR is like a eye movement rapidization or reprocessing kind of thing. And I was holding things in my hand. I did a lot of the therapy in person, and then we had to do the therapy on Zoom, which wasn't as, it's just never as good. But I've probably done just about every kind of therapy. I've done tapping and rapid transformation therapy and a lot of those. You done? You're done? Okay. You want to say goodbye to everybody? Come over here and give them a wave. Okay. Just stand. No, they can't see you. Too short. Okay. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
So I've tried lots of different therapies for sure, but there's always healing to do. And I think part of the healing is understanding that trauma lies to you, and that sometimes what you've told yourself over and over again is not, it's not true, but you believe it because you've told it to yourself all the time. So now it's time to try to tell myself a different story and to try to heal some of that old work for sure. And I do a lot of journaling and gratitude journaling. I have a nightly gratitude journal. But for some reason I need a different process right now. So that's kind of what I'm working on. And I think some of it is back to the writing. Thank you, Savannah, for saying that. I think that it's just time for me to move back into writing as a form of reclaiming my joy in myself and my own voice. So I'm excited. To do that. All right. We have been here an hour. I know I have talked a lot about 6 Months for Life and I missed the questions, but I do want to say that I genuinely appreciate all the gifts. I appreciate everybody being here. It just means so much to me. Have you checked out Jenny Pinto of Planner Perfect? Is she the one that does the scripting planning? I think I have, but I'm not 100% certain. So yeah, I think I've talked about the 4 agreements before because my mom kind of used that book against me. And so I never have read it, but many people have mentioned it to me. So maybe I need to pick it up a little bit, but have a jar on your desk, write down what you're grateful for on a slip of paper and drop it in. Watch the jar fill up. That's a really good one. Yes, that's her, the scripting planning. I probably should revisit some of her stuff because I did watch all those videos before. Somebody was also mentioning, so I have this thing that I'm going to be doing with my refilling each one when I'm writing. And somebody had said, maybe try something similar for your self-care stuff that you do, every day that you have that self-care. So yeah, I think a love letter to yourself is a really good idea. I'm going to be doing a lot of that stuff in my, anything I try, I'm going to be experimenting. So I'll be experimenting with different boundaries. I'll be experimenting with different ways of doing things. And I just appreciate you guys staying flexible, helping me with my boundaries, being kind and sending encouragement is always helpful. And just really just being here and giving me a place to speak is important to me and I appreciate it. So I hope that you feel loved and appreciated as well. Happy 4th of July to everybody here in the US that might be celebrating this week, and happy Canada Day to everybody who is celebrating in Canada. I don't know about any European holidays this weekend, but if you have any, I hope you have a great weekend. I sincerely love you guys and I appreciate you. And I'm excited for next week and I'm excited for all the books to come, hopefully from this new rejuvenation. So thank you again to whoever sent this lovely Dragonfly t-shirt because it really meant a lot in a time that I needed it, and to Kelly for sending more dragonflies. So happy Treason Day. Thanks, Mason. All right, you guys have a good time with your family. I am sending you all so much love and I will see you next weekend. Bye for now.